Hello, I'm a Bullis Student Tutor. In this video, we will be solving equations with fractions. To do these types of problems, we're going to be using something called reverse PEMDAS. Just a quick reminder, PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And in these problems, like I said before, we're going to reverse that order, and we're going to make it easy on ourselves to solve. So here we have a problem, and you'll notice on the bottom, I reverse PEMDAS to make SADMAP. We're going to solve that problem in this order. So first things first, we see that we have addition and subtraction in SADMAP. So in our problem, we see that 9/4 is being subtracted by this whole term right here. So we're going to reverse that and get 9/4 to the other side. It's positive, so we're going to subtract it. 9/4 minus 9/4. Now we have 283 over 6 minus 9/4 equals -7/2 in our parentheses. If you remember to previous videos, we cannot add and subtract terms that are not like. Fractions are not like terms unless they have a common denominator. So we're going to have to find a common denominator for 6 and 4, and right away I can tell you the least common denominator will be 12. So to get 6 to 12, we multiplied that by 2. 2 is 566. And to get 4 to 12, we multiplied that by 3. And 9 times 3 is 27. 566 minus 27 is 539/12. And now we can move this term in place of these two terms. So now we got rid of our subtraction and addition. Next thing to do is division and multiplication, and I see that right now the -7/2 is being multiplied by the parentheses. So we're going to do the inverse operation to get that onto the other side. It's being multiplied, so we will divide. Divide by -7/2. Divide by -7/2. And like we remember before, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, which is just itself flipped. So there it is, multiplied by the reciprocal. 539 times 2 is 1078, and 7 times 12 is 84. Never forget your negatives, so our final answer will be -1078 over 84. And this term replaces the 539/12 and the divided 7/2. So now we have -1078 over 84 equals -7/3 x minus 7/2. We can make this problem a little easier on ourselves by simplifying this fraction. We can divide the numerator and denominator by 2 and get -539 over 42 equals -7/3 x minus 7/2. Now that we got rid of our parentheses, we can go back to the beginning of SADMAP. In addition and subtraction, we see that 7/2 is being subtracted. So we can do the inverse operation and add 7/2 to both sides. Remember, when adding and subtracting, we need like terms, and for fractions, like terms need common denominators. So the least common denominator for 42 and 2 would be 42. So we didn't need to do anything to get -539 to 42. But to get 2 to 42, we multiplied by 21. And so we need to do the same to the denominator. So 21 times 7 is 147. Negative 539 over 42 plus 147 over 42 is 392 over 42, and don't forget the negative. And that again is equal to negative 7/3 x. And real quickly, we can make this problem easier on ourselves by simplifying the fraction, and we can divide the numerator and denominator by 2. So 392 divided by 2 is 196. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Never forget the negative. Equals negative 7/3 x. Now to get x by itself, it is being multiplied by negative 7/3. So we need to divide both sides by negative 7/3. So now we have 196 over 21 over all over negative 7/3. And we have two negatives. Two negatives make a positive, so we can ignore them and get a positive number. Now keep in mind, for fractions, we do not divide fractions. Instead, we multiply by the reciprocal. So what we're going to do is 196. We're going to keep that as it is. And we're going to multiply, change the sign, by the reciprocal. We get that by flipping 3/7. And again, we can simplify before solving. We can take 3 out and get 1, and 7. We can take 7 out and get 1, and 28. So 28/7 times 1, and x equals 28 over 7, which can be simplified down to equal 4. So our final answer is x equals 4. That was a very long explanation, so really quickly what we did one more time. We started by saying we wanted to do reverse PEMDAS, so we're going to undo everything that's done. So we started by looking at addition and subtracting. We subtracted 9/4. We got to our second stage. We then looked at multiplication and division. We divided negative 7/2. We got to our third stage. We were able to get rid of the parentheses, so we started over at addition and subtraction. We were able to add 7/2 to undo its subtraction, and we got to our next stage, and we saw that the negative 7/3 was being multiplied by the x, so we divided it, and then we got to our final stage, which was our divided fraction, x equals 28 over 7, and we were able to further simplify that down to 4. And that is how we kept undoing things to get to our final answer, 4. And important ideas for doing these problems in this video. Remember, when adding and subtracting fractions, you need a common denominator. That does not apply when you're multiplying and dividing. Also, remember, do not divide by fractions. Instead, multiply by its reciprocal. And lastly, to do these problems, look at the reverse PEMDAS. Undo everything that's done until eventually x is the only thing on its side, and you should have a final answer. This has been a Bullis Student Tutors video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out the rest of the videos on our page. Thanks for watching!